Hello and welcome to Rooted in Reptiles. My name is Luke Keister. I'm glad that everyone is joining us today. This is our first episode of many. This is a channel that we will be primarily featuring and talking about blue-tongued skinks. This channel is a collaboration between Austin and I. Kind of came up with this idea because there is Blue-tongue TV already on YouTube. However, that's based off the Australian hobby, and we do things a little bit differently here in the States. So we figured that it would be a good idea to make our own video series that will hopefully help teach and guide everyone as this hobby progresses and turns into something great as it's on track to do. We'll be covering a wide range of things in regards to blue-tongued skinks and the hobby and the market. We're going to be covering things like hybrids, cohabitation. We'll be talking about care, breeding, genes. We'll be doing a couple question and answer videos. And we'll also be shooting some breeder feature episodes, which is where we will be going to some of the bigger breeders across the country here, based on where I'm at and who's around. We'll be kind of featuring what they're doing, and we'll show you what they're working with. We'll show you any projects that they might have going on, and kind of give you an idea for how they do things, because all of us do things a little bit differently. Just depends on really what works for you, but hopefully this will kind of give you a good idea as to what is going on and any ways that you might be able to improve your keeping. Because this is our first episode, we really just wanted to hit some of the main points here. So we're not going to be too in-depth with this episode today. However, we will be kind of briefly glancing over some things. So let's get started. One of the things that Austin and I wanted to kind of hit right off the bat is there is absolutely no hybridization in America. It is not cool. We understand that they do it in Australia, they do it in other countries, but here in the States, we are strictly a purist community. We do not accept hybridization. We don't accept the idea of hybridization. It's just not beneficial to you or the animals or the lines or projects or anything like that. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I personally, my opinion is that I don't believe in hybridization. There are many things that we see that are wrong with it. At least here in the States. In Australia, it's not as big of a deal because they obviously can get more skinks. Here in the States, what we have is what we have. So we won't be able to really replace them if we dirty the gene pool. Hybrids are damaging to our hobby. Really, there's no other way to say it. They don't help anything. They destroy bloodlines that can be hard to identify. I've personally seen some hybrids that look almost pure. There's just slight things that, can give them away. There is absolutely zero monetary value in hybrids here in the States. The community has accepted the idea of being purist here, and so when we see hybrids, they're valueless. They have no monetary value. So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme if you wanted to go and start breeding hybrids, because you'll be one of the only people doing it, because there are people doing it still, and we don't accept it. So buying their animals is not really going to help you. They can't really, they have a hard time selling their animals because they are hybrids. And these breeders have been identified, and the community is aware of who is breeding hybrids, and that they should be wary of buying any animals from hybrid breeders. It's a health risk for the animals. About the only thing that comes as a health risk would be when you breed a high humidity skink to a low humidity skink. The offspring can have issues because their parents are from completely different environments. So that's one thing. You don't want to risk the health of your animals. It's not worth it. It's not worth producing something that could be unhealthy. It's extremely irresponsible. These blue-tongued skinks, I know that Ray has one. He's been breeding for 29 years. So they live a long time. And to have the idea in your mind that you're going to breed these hybrids and you're going to keep them for their entire life, honestly, none of us know what's going to be going on 30 years down the road, let alone 2 years down the road or a year down the road. So to say that you're going to keep them forever is a little bit of a risky statement. You know, things happen, life happens. We know that, and that's why we say it's best to just not breed them. The last thing that we want is for a hybrid litter to be distributed, because people are going to call them whatever they look the most like. There is natural variation, but people will just call them, oh, this looks like a northern, it must be a northern, or this looks like an IJ, it must be an IJ. In reality, they can be hybrids, and that's where damaging bloodlines can really come into play, because by the time you know or figure out that it's a hybrid, who knows how many offspring that you'll have distributed or sold or traded, and it can really be a mess to track down and try to purify things. We will be covering more of this in depth in an upcoming episode. It will be one of our episodes here in the very near future. It is a topic that we want to make sure that everyone is clear on. And so we will be having a full episode on just hybridization. In this first episode, we just wanted to list off the species, subspecies, and locales that are here in the States and that can be found and are being worked with. So we'll just start off. We have our northerns. We also have easterns. We have North Queensland, Brisbane, and New South Wales easterns. They're kind of in limited quantities, but they are here. There is a limited number of westerns. There are Maruki, Tanimbar, Irinkjaya, Centralians. There's also Indonesians. There are shinglebacks as well, both the Rugosa and Aspera. There's Key Island, and there's also all three blotched, the Alpine, Lowland, and Tasmanians. There is also Alma Eras. So, like I said earlier, we will be doing species, subspecies, and locale-specific episodes with each one. We'll kind of go through and break down whichever we're talking about for that episode, kind of give you more information on them, give you more on their availability, and just go through and kind of talk about them and kind of see who's working with them. Austin and I would just both like to really thank everyone for their support as we push forward with this project, and we hope that everyone will tell everyone that you guys know to come and check it out, and hopefully this turns into something good for our hobby. We see it as being beneficial. It's made up to be educational. It's made up to direct the hobby in a good direction, rather than turning into something that might not necessarily be so good. And we just hope that everyone enjoyed this first episode. Like I said, we will be getting into things further in upcoming episodes. We're going to be trying to do one a week, and hopefully we can stick on that track. Our goal is 5,000 subscribers. I think that that's a plenty obtainable goal, knowing the size of the hobby currently, and we really truly hope and thank everyone for joining us. We'd just like to invite everyone to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget, tell everyone you know. Thank you guys.